Well, hello once again, and welcome to Global Girls TV station. Not station, but TV show. Right here on CANTV. We are so honored to be a part of the CANTV lineup on Monday for this season. We were here a few years ago. We took a little break, a little hiatus, and we are happy to be back. I am Marvinetta Woodley Penn, and we won't be calling in tonight because we don't have anyone who is going to be working the phones for us. However, if you would like to call us with any of your comments, your concerns, your ideas, even your criticisms. Yes, I will take your criticisms because I think that's the only way for me to grow, not only as a person, but also as a TV host, a programmer, anything. The only way that I can really grow is to take a serious look at myself. And you, the audience out there in TV land, are going to be my help tonight to help me grow. So you can call CANTV and leave a comment at 312-738-1060, or you can call Global Girls at 773-902-2359. And you can also email us at info@globalgirlsinc.org. That's info at globalgirls with an S, inc.org. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about Global Girls, maybe this is your first time tuning in and you're like, what is this Global Girl thing? I see the logo back there. I've maybe heard of this organization. You maybe have even seen me doing the TV show or bringing this TV show to you one Monday night. Oh, you might have heard in the air someplace about Global Girls. Let me tell you a little bit of what Global Girls really is. Global Girls is a youth performing arts organization based on the south side of Chicago, but we reach girls and even a few guys all over the city of Chicago. We work with young people downstate in my own hometown of East St. Louis, Illinois. We even work with young people internationally. We have traveled to Ghana twice, Kenya 4 times, India, London, and Grenada. And we're going back to Tanzania in September. In fact, you can join us if you're interested in our Tanzania trip. It's going to be in September. Now, I'm going to warn you that you have to be vaccinated to travel with us. I don't know what is up with the anti-vaxxers. I am not trying to get into a conversation with that. In fact, I can't even get into a conversation even if I wanted to, because we can't have you guys calling in tonight. Eventually, I'm going to get that up and running because I would love to engage you guys. I really would. But in order to be a part of the Global Girl family, in order to work for us, travel with us, do just about anything with us, we just have a rule that you have to be vaccinated. So, if you're vaccinated, you want to come and hang with us, we'd be more than happy to welcome you aboard this wonderful excursion that we are going to have in September. I was there in November. You talk about a wonderful experience, a motivating, inspiring experience. I had such a fabulous time with my friends in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. That just sounds fabulous, doesn't it? Just the name, Dar es Salaam. And then we went to a little village called Bagamoyo, and I worked with children there. They were on stage. They were just absolutely amazing. They did not have cell phones. They did not have the iPads, none of that. Sure, some of their parents had them, and they might even have had them at home. But when they were in the sessions, when they were in the after-school programs, no cell phones, not even talk about cell phones. They don't even have the social media that we have here, which is a blessing because those young people were able to focus and stay present in the moment. They were dancing up a storm and just loving what they were doing. So I am so excited to take some of our young people, some of our global girls who have grown out of the program, aged out of the program, and now they are professionals doing their own thing in the world arena. I am so proud of those young ladies and young men let me not forget our young men, because Global Girls just turned 22 in January. January 22nd, we celebrated our 22nd anniversary. You know, when I started Global Girls 22 years ago, I had no idea what it would become. No idea. And it has grown and blossomed and engaged thousands of young people in the performing arts, in finding out who they are, finding out what they love, finding out what they love about themselves, learning how to love, learning how to be passionate, learning how to be all that they can become, and along the way, learning how to dance and how to act and how to tell their own stories. It is a wonderful journey. I absolutely love it. And I'm so grateful. I am so eternally grateful to my parents. I'm going to talk a little bit about that because it was my parents who first taught me that you need to have dreams and you need to pursue those dreams. And even when the going gets tough, you have to hang in there. You really have to hang in there because there's no guarantee for just about anything in life, anything except things are going to change. Things will change. As Luther Vandross said in that beautiful song that so many other people have sung, everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything must change. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life we can be sure of, except rain falls from the sky. I forget this next line, but hummingbirds, sun dries up the clouds, or sun removes the clouds, and hummingbirds do fly. Oh my God, winter turns to spring, a wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. So that's going to take me to, before I get into tonight's topic, if you're interested in enrolling a young girl, your daughter, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor, your niece, your stepdaughter, your granddaughter, anybody in one of our programs, please, please, please contact us at 773-902-2359, or you can email us at info, at globalgirlsinc.org. Also, stop on by the studio, 8151 South Chicago. We're there normally between 8:30 and about 11:30. Then we go out into the schools. We run school programs, but soon we're going to have somebody working for us, and she'll be there between 2 and 6 p.m. And hey, if you're interested in working for Global Girls, give us a call at 773-902-2359. Now, I have a fabulous guest who is coming in the house right now. Right now. I have a fabulous guest who is coming in the house right now. Right now. Right now. Right now.
Hi, Miss Spears.
Hi there, Hannah.
Oh my goodness.
I am so glad to see you.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
This is so official.
Yes, it is, darling. I have the wonderful Miss Hannah Neely. And Hannah is going to be talking with us in a few minutes about my topic of the whole series. And Hannah, as you can see, there is a delay.
Okay.
Always a bit of a delay, but it's all good. It's all good.
TV has those delays.
Yes.
I'm pretty used to it at this point.
Okay, because Hannah was on TV, you know, she's a newscaster. Yeah. I was a newscaster, but I was on the radio station.
Oh.
Long time ago.
Nice.
Yes, indeed.
What station?
I was on WCVS News in Springfield, Illinois.
What?
Ugh, hated it. You talk about pressure. Oh, my God. Yeah. But Hannah, I'm going to let you introduce yourself while I duck down here for a minute. Go ahead and tell them who you are, Miss Hannah.
Well, hi, everyone. My name's Hannah Neely. I am a Chicago native, born and raised, but I'm still not used to this weather. I don't think I ever will be. But I absolutely love Chicago. The city is beautiful, and I love the opportunities that Chicago has, just like organizations like Global Girls, where you get together and go out of the country. I had the opportunity to go with Miss Penn and some of the other wonderful ladies from Global Girls to Africa in 2016. I don't know if we're going to touch on that at some point.
We went to Kenya.
Yeah.
We went to Kenya, and then we stopped in London.
Yeah.
And we did
Mombasa.
We did Mombasa.
Yep.
We did Nairobi. Did we do that? We did Nairobi.
We sure
did Mombasa. And then we stopped back in London before we came back to the States.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to tell a quick story, and then we're going to get to our topic. Thank you so much, Hannah, for joining us. My goodness. When I was in college, I went to Eastern Illinois University, and I went in the early 70s, right? So this was right after the Civil Rights Movement, and Dr. King died, and there was a push for colleges to enroll more African-American students.
Okay.
So I was one of the benefactors of that push, because probably I would not have gone to college. Well, I always had aspirations, because my mom and dad were like, oh no, you're going to college, you're going to college. How I was going to pay for it, we had no idea, because my dad didn't know anything about paying for college. My mom, I was the first in my family to ever go to college. So when I went away to college, it was like a mind-blowing experience, because I had never really left my hometown. Well, every summer we would go from East St. Louis to Chicago.
Okay.
You know, my dad would always drive, and every time he'd drive, we would get lost. He would get lost, right? And then we would go over to Indiana, South Bend, Indiana, because we had relatives there. And then my family might go to Ohio.
Okay, so the whole Midwest region.
So they would, the Midwest region.
Nice.
I rarely went to Toledo. We would go to Toledo,
Okay.
Ohio. So I'm in college, and I'm the only black person in all my classes because I studied English. You know, I thought I was going to be a writer. I am a writer.
Yes, you are.
I am a writer.
And a great
Yes.
speaker.
Oh,
That's why you're here.
okay. I just love it. I think, you know, you got to be a little crazy to do this kind of work that we do, but that's okay. So I'm in this class. I'm in my last year of French, because as an English major, I had to take 2 years of French, right?
Je m'appelle
so,
Hannah.
je m'appelle moi Vanetta.
Okay.
Oh, merci, mademoiselle. Comment allez-vous?
Comment allez-vous? I was just getting ready to say that.
Très bien, très bien.
No, that's the only one I know.
Oh, I
can
know.
only remember comment allez-vous and comment ça va.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right, that's enough.
And
and
bonjour.
je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
And you know, I have 1,000 stories, but they all stem from my experience in college. I'm in my last year of French. I'm going to do this very quickly. In my last year of French, and all the students are up around the professor's desk talking about, well, when I was 9 and my family traveled to Spain, and when I was 2 and we went to Portugal, and when I was 10 and we went to countries in Africa. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me this is just not something on TV?
This is normal
People
for you?
actually do this, and this is normal for you? I was like, somebody lied to me.
Yep.
I am so angry. But I says, instead of because I had another college professor who talked about karma and the law of attraction, even back in the 70s, he was talking
nice.
about this. So that's when I stopped eating meat. But I digress. I told myself, sitting in that classroom, the only little black thing in that classroom, this will never happen to me again. As soon as I can, I'm going to start traveling internationally. And I did.
Wow.
I did.
I
The
never
first
knew
place
that.
I went. No, I was working as a cocktail waitress and at McCormick Inn, and I met a guy from London. He would always sit in my station, and I was like, "Oh, I love your accent." He says, "I'm from London." "Oh, I want to go to London." He says, "Well, what's stopping you?" I'm like, "I don't know how to go to London."
Right.
And he was like, "Save up your money, get a passport, get a plane ticket, get some money to get a hotel, and go.
And just go.
Before you know it, you'll be stepping off the plane." I was like,
Yep.
what? Is that easy?
And I'm sure it
I
was
did
more
that.
scared for you back then because it wasn't even social media.
You know
Like-
what? I didn't care.
Right.
I was not afraid.
Okay, so you weren't afraid. Well, that's good.
I was not afraid. I went
That's
by
good.
myself. I didn't know. I knew him. And so I was able to
You went
contact
to London
him.
by
I went to
yourself?
London by myself.
Wow.
The first 3
that is
times.
admirable.
The first 3 times I traveled internationally, I was by myself.
Wow.
I took 9 weeks and had a Eurail pass and traveled throughout Europe by myself.
And wasn't scared.
I was not afraid.
Wow.
One night, and we're going to get to our topic, but this is about love. It's really all about love, because when you love yourself, you believe in yourself, and you know that there is nothing you cannot do. Nothing you cannot do. No obstacle you cannot overcome. And so I loved myself even when I was standing. During that 9 weeks, I went to Berlin. And skinheads were really popular at that time. Skinheads.
What's that?
Skinheads are like the neo-Nazis or the Proud Boys or something.
Oh, okay.
So the skinheads were very popular. And I'm standing, I had gone to a jazz club, and I'm going back to my hotel. You know, everybody takes public transportation in Europe. Everybody takes public, day and night, you just take public transportation. So I'm standing on the train platform, and these guys come down the train tracks, and they're throwing bottles, and they're saying all these nasty things to people. And people gathered together, they started walking, huddling up in one area, I guess for safety. And I stood my ground right there by myself, and they were like, come down here with us. I'm like, nope.
You was like, I'm from Chicago. I know how to handle this.
Look, my people have gone through all kinds of trauma.
Yes.
We went through the civil rights movement. We were dogs barked on us. You think some skinheads gonna do something to me?
Yep.
I'm from East St. Louis. Okay.
All right.
I have been in Chicago for a while where people hated me, and I survived. So I just stood there, and they were telling, nigga, go back to Africa. Go back to Africa. Don't, you don't belong in Berlin. We don't want you here. And I just stood my ground. I was reciting the Lord's Prayer the whole time. Lord,
I know that's
protect
right.
me. I just smiled, and I just stood my ground. And before long, they disappeared. They dissipated, because you know what? Love will conquer fear every time. And that brings us to our topic for the evening.
Yes.
Miss Hannah, what do you think about this topic called love?
Ooh, love is, I mean, it's just needed everywhere.
Yeah.
It's needed within everything.
Yeah.
And to me, it's the core of why we do what we do. Everybody gets up and goes to work for a reason, and that reason ultimately comes down to love.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, people want to support their loved ones. Like,
Yeah.
you go to work, you do what you have to do, you want to make a lot of money, you want to sell a product, you have a business. But what does all of this come down to?
Okay.
Love.
Love. We hope it comes down to love.
It should, for the most part.
Because
you're right. There are some people that are just really selfless in this world, and well, not selfless, selfish in this world, and they don't, look at it that way. But majority of people, and probably the people watching right now, it's about love.
About love. Let me ask you a couple of questions before I get into the core of why I had you come on the show. Because Hannah's a young lady, and she's going to be able to bring that other perspective to me. Because I've been around, I got a few years on me. I'm not afraid to say. So I'm representing a totally different generation. But Hannah can bring in this youth perspective. I did not. Luckily, I grew up in a family with a mother and a father, and they showed me love. I didn't really understand what I was seeing a lot of the time, but looking back on it, was like, they were showing me love. I remember one time, quick story. One time, my mother, because we always had big Christmases, huge Christmases.
Nice.
And my mother would always cook, and my dad would work hard so my mother could, just get us what we wanted. But my mother had told my dad what she wanted for Christmas. She had put it in the layaway. Back then they had the layaway. Right? So my mom went and got what she wanted from Seidel's, downtown East St. Louis, and put it in the layaway, and it was this coat, black coat with a white fur collar and a white fur hat, right?
Ooh.
And so she gave the receipt to my dad, and he was supposed to get it out for her for layaway. So we came downstairs, we were playing with our toys, and we're just so happy. And my mom is kind of slamming things in the kitchen, and she has this sour face on. We're like, oh no, Mom, it's Christmas. What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, just leave me alone. Just go play. Go play. I'm like, oh no, what's wrong? What's wrong?
She didn't get her coat.
She didn't get anything. Oh no. So we were going upstairs to talk to Dad. It's like, what's wrong? And he was like, shh, shh, shh. And he came downstairs with this huge box.
Wow.
And he gave it to her. And she opened it. And she was like, oh, Charles, thank you, thank you. And she hugged him. And he was so happy. He was so happy. He was like, I just didn't want you to know. I just wanted to surprise you. So that was love to me.
Yeah, it was.
That was love.
Yep.
Yes. So that's an example of love. And they were married until my mom passed. And yeah. So, Hannah, tell me about young people's definition of love.
Ooh, young people's definition.
Yeah, just set the stage for me.
It's just like sad at this point. I'm a millennial myself. I believe in like old school traditional love, but my generation and generations below, they seem to just think like love is getting with someone and having a baby. And, you know, there are really no true commitments. The baby, I guess, is the source of commitment. And then once the baby is had, most of the time they break up. And then they try to find more love, I guess. But they're still not really, like, committed. It is just so much confusion out here. And I'm not about confusion. God is not of confusion. It's so simple. You know, if you do love somebody, I feel that you should get to know them, of course, and court. And then take it to that next level and, like, have a fiance and get married. But our generation just, like, isn't like that anymore. People just go straight into having babies now.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. You know, who teaches people love? Not how to love, but who teaches love? If love were a subject, the way math is, algebra is, science is, history is, music is, those are things you have to learn, because nobody comes out of the womb knowing science.
Not at all.
Or math, or how to write a paper, or love.
Yeah.
How are young people learning about love today?
Young people are learning about love the same way that you learned about love and your parents learned about love, and that is through your family lineage. Are your parents showcasing it? Are your grandparents showcasing it? Like you said, you came from a two-parent household. I came from a two-parent household. My parents got married. So, you know, but other like some of my friends and, you know, some of the people I went to school with, their parents never got married. They never seen marriage. So if you don't see that growing up, you don't feel that it's necessary, you know, as a part of, you know, what love is. You don't see that. And that's who teaches it.
And another place where I heard about love was on TV.
Okay, yes.
I saw love like the Dick Van Dyke Show. I saw Father Knows Best. I saw those shows where the woman was the housekeeper. My mother was a housekeeper. She was a homemaker. My mother never worked. My father worked. And so I saw other people, and I saw how the guy would kiss the wife at the end of the day. And so I saw all those I had all those role models. And then the songs that we listened to, the Temptations, the way you do the things you do. You got to smile so bright, you could have been a candle. Oh, you know, all those love songs.
Yeah, none of that anymore.
So where do young people learn love?
I mean, they're not learning it. And that's why it's so much crime. That's why it's so many shootings and so many baby mamas. And don't get me wrong, nothing towards baby mamas. I know situations happen. But it's just so many. And it's so many people that are like showcasing this in the media as if this is the way it ought to be. And we had talked about it before, Rihanna. Now, Rihanna is somebody that, you know, a lot of young people look at. We love Rihanna. I love Rihanna. That's my sister. I love her music. I love everything about her. And when I saw that she was pregnant with A$AP Rocky's baby, I was taken back. I was taken back. Yeah. And I wanted to be happy for Rihanna in that moment because I love Rihanna. I'm a part of the Navy. But I couldn't be that happy for her because I'm like, Rihanna, what are you doing? Like, how do you just wake up pregnant with somebody's baby and you are Rihanna? Like, you are like royalty over here. You need to be somebody's wife, somebody's queen, living in a what is it called where the queens live?
Castle.
The castle, not a mansion, a castle. Rihanna needs to be, and for me to just see her like just walking with a big belly, it was like, what's the message here for people like myself? What's the message here for people that are younger than us? When they see somebody like Rihanna just come up pregnant, not married, been in a relationship for, a few months, maybe a year. Where's the love?
And what are you teaching that baby? My daddy told me a child deserves a mother and a father. Mm-hmm. He says it's good when the child is brought up with a role model of a father going to work, of a mother helping the child along. Yes, the mother can go to work also, but who is there making sure that child gets all the things, all the love and attention and concern and guidance that child needs to grow up whole and healthy? Mm-hmm. To each his own. Trust me, yeah. To each his own. But I work in the schools. We work in the schools. We work with your children. And we see them starving for love and attention. We see them starving for the things that a two-parent household can provide for a child. So let's think about the babies who are being born, because we can be very selfish and say, I want a child, I want a child, I want a child. Exactly. How about helping some of these children already out here? And if you want a child that much, let's be ready to give that child all the time and attention and guidance that child deserves. Yeah. That child didn't have to be here.
Yeah.
Under like those circumstances.
Yeah, it's like a ripple effect at this point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what happens is who's affected by this is the child. And that's why we see so many high crime rates. I mean, every time you turn on the news, once you guys get done watching us and you turn on ABC7 or NBC, you will see that there was another shooting. You will see that there was another major incident, and probably within the Black community, which is very unfortunate. And then you have to ask yourself why. And then this is all rooting from just not having that love in the household. Not having that two-parent household, because young men can learn a lot more from their fathers than they can from their mothers. Yeah. I'm seeing plenty of single mothers raising young men, and a lot of them are, turning to the streets, and some of them are turning to other men. And it's nothing wrong for a man to want to be with another man. I don't have anything against it.
Right. We're not saying anything
Nothing
negative.
Against
your
it.
Your choice is your choice.
Your choice is your choice. But sometimes it just leads people astray because they don't have the fair representation. Yeah. I think when you have fair representation in a household of a male and a woman, and then you make a decision, then that's on you. Like, you really, truly made that decision. Because you have fair representation in your household. You got to see mom, dad, and you decided what you wanted to do. But for some people who are just growing up with their mother, which is a lot of people, they don't have that fair representation. And so they're just going from one side of the fence to the other. And there's just a lot of confusion. There's a lot of mistrust and altogether just violence happening.
Yes. I think I'm advocating for a love academy. I'm advocating for us having a class on love. My definition of love, the Love Academy. And I want to start getting groups of people together to have these conversations. We're about to run out of time. Can you believe it?
Really?
And we did not
That was super quick.
It goes so quickly. I've got like a minute left. Wow. But I talked to a guy today. I'm like, so how did you learn how to love? Oh, you don't have to ask me that. So what is your definition of love? I asked him, and he says, oh, well, everybody's got their own definition of love. How do we ever get to any consensus on this? What if people have their own definition of what 2 + 2 equals? It can be just as elementary as that. I think love is the willingness to extend oneself for the growth of another.
Wow.
The willingness to extend oneself for the growth of another, so that when that passion dies, when you first get married, oh, I can't love you so much, that's going to fade. Because that with familiarity is going to come boredom. When that fades, when the initial attraction fades, you are there for the long haul because you want to see that person become the best they can be. Same with the child. Same with an adult. Same with your girlfriends or your guy friends. Why not with everybody in your circle? Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Thank you to my guest, Hannah.
Thank
you.
And
good night. We'll see you again next week.
Bye.